Well, I really appreciate you, Stan, sharing your viewpoint on some of your lyrical content. I think that really important that Terminal Nation touched base on a lot of things that we face here in our state,
Totally, yeah. Thank you.
So we're going to kind of move into talking about some of the stuff that you're listening to. I saw you kind of posting on Facebook the other day about a band you've been checking out, and you said they were pretty rad, so I checked them out too. I really like them. Gridiron?
Gridiron? Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they kind of reminded me, and I'm going to throw this out here, and I thought maybe you would laugh at me if I said it.
Okay.
But, you kind of said earlier when we were talking about it, you were like, a little cheesy here and there. But they remind me a lot of,
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Back in the day when E-Town Concrete came out, people were laughing at them.
Yeah,
and they thought it was funny, but I actually thought they were pretty decent. You know what I mean?
It's like Jungle Juice revisionist history.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's like, oh, E-Town Concrete was the hardest. And then, you say, well, no, at the time, people were, joking.
It wasn't really cool.
Look back on it as like, oh, that's cool.
But they did the same thing. They did the same thing to Trapped Under Ice, people were hating on them when they first came out.
And they just had that meteoric rise,
Well, yeah, that and just the vocal style was a little bit more different than what I guess people were wanting with hardcore.
Okay.
But I feel like with bands like Gridiron and stuff like that, I've seen bands way back in the day that kind of feels like more old school hardcore to me.
Yeah.
That kind of rap influence in there, the way the vocal style is.
That hard style.
Yeah. That comes from old school shit.
Sure. It's very very 90s.
Yes.
Street vibes.
Yeah. But E-Town Concrete totally came into my head, not because they sound like them, but just that vocal style.
The vibe, the energy they put out. Yeah. So they just dropped a new album a couple weeks ago on Triple B Records. No Good at Goodbyes, I believe is what it's called. And I didn't expect to like it, but I've listened to it a lot. Their earlier EPs were kind of maybe less confident sounding, but now. So, and I think we touched on this before we were recording, that nothing is cheesy if you do it in all seriousness.
Yeah.
If you just totally lean into the gimmick or persona, you're good.
Own it.
So with the vocals here, they're totally confident, and the instrumentals are just badass. I mean, it's just it's almost death metal with rapping over it in some parts. Very, very, very hard, very moshy.
I was very interested with the way that they did their time signature changes.
Sure.
And they switch. They went from hardcore to death metal or whatever real quick.
Yeah.
And then they just flip it on you real quick.
Right. And the lyrics.
I wasn't expecting it. The first song doesn't really lead that way. And then you get into the second song, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and
I see it.
Some of the lyrics, when things go wrong, you go to Lawyer Town. And I was like, dude, no band can get away with saying that. But if you say it in confidence, if you're like, oh, and you run to Lawyer Town, but if you just say it straight up,
at their show, they're going to have people yelling at them.
Yeah, that works, actually.
Yeah.
It's on paper, it's insane to say that in a song. But when you do it in confidence, it fucking kind of rocks.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've been jamming that record a lot since it came out. Beyond that, I've been listening to a lot of newer death metal bands. Last month, a band Maul from North Dakota came through, a death metal band. They're great. They're really, really killer. They are, and I feel like this word gets used maybe too much, but I mean this when I say this about them. But they are very, very much an underrated band.
Yeah.
I feel like they have that curse that maybe Arkansas bands face, where they're from a place that nobody gives a shit about from the outside. They're not from New York. They're not from Chicago. They're not from Texas, Florida, California, whatever. They're from North Dakota.
Yeah.
And they fucking kick ass.
Yeah.
They're so good. So I think their time might come soon. I don't know. There's another band actually that they're maybe their brother band, their sister band, however you want to term it. From North Dakota, Phobophilic.
Okay.
And I think they just recently signed to Prosthetic Records.
Oh, nice.
They have a new LP coming out soon. But I think your average person from the outside looking in might think, there's a death metal band in North Dakota. That's weird. But oh no, there's two death metal bands from North Dakota. Oh, and they're both fucking awesome. They're both really, really good. I think they play shows together or tour together from time to time.
That makes sense.
But yeah. So and it's here, with compared to my band with we got Second Life, we got Morbid Visions. New bands are popping up all the time. I want more new bands to happen. But, sometimes when you're in a smaller scene, like, it is what it is. I love our scene, but
we share a lot of the same musicians.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Like, there's a lot of intermingling.
We have so few people, we can't have that trivia. I mean, it hasn't happened for sure, but we can't afford to have like trivial disagreements. Like if you go to like Chicago, there's a ska scene and a hardcore scene and a hardcore punk scene and a street punk scene and a oi scene and a metal scene and a power metal scene and a death metal scene
and they got
and
enough
a sludge
people
scene.
to feed
And they all hate each other and they don't get along and they don't go to each other's shows.
Well,
I threw a big city under the bus. I don't know shit about Chicago, so I love Chicago. Actually, I'm playing there.
Get some hate.
May 27th. No, but what I'm saying is, comparatively, places like North Dakota, places like Little Rock, Arkansas, we have so few people in our city that we can't afford to bicker over little things.
We can't be shitty to each other. We got to embrace each other and our differences.
Totally. So when I see bands like Phobophilic and Maul going on tour together, and then new bands that pop up, they take them on tour, play shows with them. Like they don't have much to choose from in that city. So when cool shit pops up, you lift it up. If I win, you win with me. If I eat, we all eat.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying.
I like that mentality.
That's what I'm trying to do here in Arkansas. I feel like people did that with me when I was growing up. I said for a while it was hard for journalists to get shows, and then all of a sudden Wake was asking us to play shows. And first time we played downtown was with Paul Bearer, and like for those bands to like kind of maybe take a chance, I feel like we need a lot. That's good energy.
Somebody has
we
to.
We got to stick together.
Somebody has to co-sign on you sometimes. You know what I mean?
Sure, totally. Yeah. So like I try to do that with Second Life or my friends' bands, Morbid Visions, or any other heavy bands that kind of would fit with our vibe.
Yeah.
Severe
Head Wound.
Yes. Great band. They fit with our vibe. Like let's win together.
Yeah, showcasing
because I feel like people did that with me when I was growing up when they maybe shouldn't have or whatever.
Yeah.
But
well, I feel like we all in the scene, we definitely have like what they call like big hoop dreams, whatever.
Sure.
Like we all have these visions and ideas of what we want our scene and our community to do and also be viewed as.
Sure.
And I think that it's just a big collective of people's minds coming together.
100%.
It's really nice. It
100%.
really is. I feel like there's a lot of camaraderie there.
Yep. I feel like the next band I was going to mention, Writhing Shadows, I believe they're from Alabama. And so place similar to us, they don't have a huge scene there. Bands from places like Alabama, from North Dakota, from Arkansas, even like Oklahoma sometimes. They got to fight 10 times harder to be mentioned in the same conversation as the New York,
Oklahoma
California,
hardcore, man.
Texas bands. We got to fight and claw our way to get a sliver of the attention that those bands in, quote unquote hot areas.
Understood.
So Writhing Shadows, badass death metal, very thrashy influenced from Alabama. I think they have a new recording coming out soon. I don't know. I think they told me.
We'll have to link them up.
Yeah,
we'll put put all these bands
coming out soon. I don't know if I can say the details on it though. And then I have a million bands that I listen to.
Yeah.
So Brat, are you familiar with Brat?
Yes.
Okay.
Didn't you bring them through or they?
So me and CT had talked about them before, and then he got them at Mutants last year, and they played at 1 in the afternoon, so they had a great reaction. They played outside, and it was like on the day that was kind of all chaos because of the venue change at the last minute. And, man, I feel my heart goes out to CT.
CT handled that like a champ.
Everybody at Jackson.
Yeah.
Everybody at Vino's was like incredible that day. So shout out to Vino's.
Yeah.
But Brat played very early. They had a small crowd, but the small crowd was captivated the entire time.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is. I feel like this band is special. It's unique, and I'll get into it a little bit, but so it's a metal band, like grindy, power violence-y metal. But the vocalist is she's a woman.
Yeah.
And for a long time, people frown upon the term female-fronted vocals, and I think that's corny too because that's not a genre.
It's
whatever.
not.
And I think some people use that terminology with good intentions, and not really realizing that it can be a little bit demoralizing or whatever. because for the longest time, like the energy is that, hey, I might be a girl in this band. I'm just a band member. I'm just singing in the band. I'm just playing in the band. I'm not like, oh, a girl that plays in the band or whatever. So that energy's cool, but it seems like Brat is like the inverse of that.
Yeah.
And like, so it's like, yeah, I'm the girl in the band.
Yeah.
But this is my band.
Yeah.
So all the aesthetics are like pink.
Oh yeah.
And like
just owning
nail
it.
polish and
Fuck
like
yeah.
it's so sick. Like all
hardcore.
Right. There's all their imagery is like
yeah.
Brats, Mean Girls,
yeah.
Paris Hilton, but the music's like aggressive, and then they have like sound clips that are like very like eccentric bubblegum pop music from like the late 90s or 2000s, and I'm like it's a totally different spin on what like their aesthetic, their style is a totally different spin than what a lot of bands are doing, regardless of the gender of the members.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
they stand out
totally. Like this is coming from a totally different area of energy, and it's very well played. It's very good. It's even dare I say catchy.
Yeah.
For being like grindy metal,
nice.
But it's sick. But I like what they're doing because it's very different. You see that name on a flyer. You see that like. Let's say they put out a record soon, you're in a record store. It's going to stick out because it's like you see poodles and Paris Hilton and guns and nail polish and like whatever. Like it sticks out and you're like, oh, is this a metal record or is this...
Yeah, it catches your eye.
Yeah, so I think Elizabeth, the singer, is like, she's not afraid to like be herself. And so she's just like, yeah, this is what I'm about. And I also am in this badass band. And she like captivates the audience. I think it's really
awesome.
Unique. It's really cool. It's a different flavor than.
I've been seeing them around a lot. So.
Yeah, I think they have a good upward trajectory. I would like to see them do cool things soon.
Yeah, I've been liking a lot of the bands that you've been bringing through, and I know that you recently brought through Frozen Souls.
Yeah,
and you're going to be bringing them back
and
again.
We are going to be bringing them back. Yes. So Frozen Soul, their booking agency, hit me up a few months back, and they're like, "Hey, we need a show in Little Rock," and I love that band. That Crypt of Ice was one of my favorite albums from last year.
Hard.
Yes, yeah, and like even their demo.
I said that so hickish. I said that so.
That shit rocks, man.
That shit. My country came out real quick.
Anyway, so like I mean, props to them. Like they had just like their rise was like. Like I mean, it was insane. So they put out that demo on Maggot Stomp in 2019, like almost like 1 year before the pandemic hit. That demo was crazy. The intro riff was like, I heard it and I was like, oh my God, this fucking blows my mind. Because it's a very bolt thrower riff. Like, it's bolt throwery, but like, the recording was like, not super clean, I guess you could say. So it was a kind of a more raw recording than you would hear from like their contemporary death metal bands. Yeah. So it had that really, really gritty vibe, like almost like punk, that we talked about earlier. So it brought that energy, but with like a big bolt thrower riff. And the riff is just so fucking catchy. The intro of the demo, and then they redid that song to be on the new album. But I was like, this band is badass.
So and it caught your attention.
Yes, yeah. It's cool that they're close by. They're from Texas. They're on that Maggot Stomp. They were on that Maggot Stomp label, which is like one of the Tastemaker death metal labels. And so I was like, okay, this band is cool. They hit me up for a show. I booked them before the pandemic. They hit me up for a show after the pandemic. A few months back, we got them with Excavate, death metal from Memphis, featuring Big Brandon formerly of the Reserving Dirt Naps. That band is phenomenal, by the way. They have not recorded, but god damn it, it's coming.
Who all's in it?
It's you got members from Thief's Hand, Ritual Fog. I mean, just like your more like last 10 years era of Memphis guys. So it's
like a super group.
Yes. Yeah. And I think they would hate if hearing me say that.
Oh, well. But I'm saying it.
And like, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, but like, that band is so fucking good. Like, they played.
Check them out.
They, that show they played in Little Rock was their second show.
Okay.
It's incredible. It should not be this good. It should not, like, that set should not have been a band's second set. It doesn't
seasoned
make
musicians,
sense.
you know.
Right, and from what I understand, talking with Brandon, is the younger dudes in the band that have, they played in a bunch of Memphis bands over the years. They're veterans. They're all good at what they do, but for whatever reason, it just really, really gelled here.
Sometimes you connect.
And they wrote the instrumentals. And when Brandon left Reserving Dirt Naps, they were like, "Hey, will you sing for this?" He was like, "Nah, I don't really want to be in another band." And then he told me he called me on the phone when I asked him about it. He was like, "Stan, when I tell you that I heard," and they were very nonchalant about it. I think how he explained to me, they were very nonchalant when they approached him. They're like, check this out. We'd like for you to sing for it. And he told them no off the bat. And then he listened to him. He's like, I can't not be in this band. I can't not be in this band. And I mean this when I say, I posted a clip of them from that Frozen Soul show we were just talking about. And it got some attention from, labels.
Oh, wow.
From my video post. And people were like, holy shit. So, they're good. They're yeah.
Nice.
And then the homies in Morbid Visions played that last show. But,
yeah.
You can tell me to shut that.
I don't know.
I got the ADD and I just go.
I'm just looking. I'm just grazing our itinerary.
Okay, cool. Anyway, so Frozen Soul played here not that long ago. Their agency, FYI to anybody that's listening, booking agents will continue to reach out to you if you take care of your bands.
Yes.
And when Frozen Soul played here, I'm not putting anyone's business.
Is that Daniel DeFonts?
No, it's not. No, but he rocks. He's good.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put anybody's business out there. But when you talk to an agent and they say, "Hey, let's do X," and then you say, "No problem," and then the day of the show you give them X plus X plus X plus X, they're like, "That was badass.
We're sending them back."
Yeah. and so they wanted to play Little Rock for sure on the way to the Dying Fetus show. So I'm gearing up to announce this. I was gearing up to announce this Frozen Soul show. And then a couple days before I announce, Frozen Soul hits me up. And they're like, "Hey, we're doing some dates on the way to Dying Fetus. I don't know if you're booking one of them maybe in Little Rock. Does your band Terminal Nation want to jump on the dates?" And I was like, fuck, this changes everything. Well, because we didn't want to play a show until new music dropped.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be for a little bit. Maybe June 17th. I don't know.
That was slick.
That'll be in the summer. Maybe. Okay. I don't know. Rumor has it. I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know. Well, to be fair, I told a lot of people, "Hey, we got new music coming out on this day." And then the pressing plant delay happened. And this day was actually supposed to be 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it might not come out.
We won't hold you to it.
It might not come out until
you're going to get new music soon. That's all we know.
Yeah, people know that we've been recording music, and you might hear it soon. Anyway, so Frozen Soul was like, "Hey, jump on some shows with us," and we were like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." So we jumped on. It's only 3 days, just a little appetizer, but people seem to be stoked. We're playing with them here in Little Rock with Pleasure Cube from Minneapolis. So a lot of the DIY house show punks in the city might be familiar with one of the members. Elgin used to play in Rad Rad Riots, I believe, and then I believe Dog Prison and Megan, and has just been a staple in the DIY community in Little Rock for a long time. Just very supportive. But Elgin moved to Minneapolis few years ago, I believe, and has joined Pleasure Cube or started Pleasure Cube, but they're from what I understand an upbeat, gritty punk band.
Nice.
They're gonna stand out on the show a little bit,
but give it a little different flavor.
But I like that there's that hometown connection there.
Yeah.
And I think that'll bring a different crowd that may not necessarily come out to a Frozen Soul show.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll stay for the show.
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. So they're playing. I'm excited to have them. They're doing their own tour separately, and they just need this date. And I was like, I can't not combine the shows. We got to and I think this is gonna work out for both parties.
Awesome.
Pro tip for folks that book shows out there: when you can afford it, when you can make it make sense, combine the shows. Fuck it. Even if it's a little bit adjacent, you think it might be weird. Just take a chance. Sometimes it'll work. Sometimes it won't. Anyway, so they're playing, and then the homies in Morbid Visions, which is a new death metal band out of Little Rock, some familiar faces.
The homies.
The homies.
Yes.
They have a new 2-song demo that just came out. It's really good, really well written. Like they have good potential, and they have better songs that they've written that they're planning to record soon. So I think they have a lot of potential. But that's in Little Rock on April the 24th.
April 20. It's Monday, April 25th.
5th. Oh my God!
Monday, April 25th.
The 25th. I'm throwing out all crazy numbers here. Every number that I'm throwing out.
24th, 5th, 6th.
Well, I do have another show on the 24th. A house show, Severe Head Wound House with Di and Benadryl and Disregard the Moldy Cheese. That's going on the 24th.
Nice.
But on the 25th, we're playing Vinos, Terminal Nation, Frozen Soul, Pleasure Cube, and Morbid Visions. Yeah. It should be fun. Tickets are available now. You can get them at Frozen Soul TX, like Texas, FrozenSoulTX.com or TerminalNation.net. And then, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, Frozen Soul's like, hey, do these dates with us. So we're playing Memphis the next night with Excavate that I was just talking about. And I believe Ritual Fog, another good band. And then we're playing in Knoxville the following day. I don't know the locals there, but I'm excited. I like when I don't know the bands.
Yeah, you get to learn something.
So I'm excited.
New people,
right, I'm excited to see Excavate because those guys are pros. But learning about new bands on the road is always cool too. So
that's awesome, Stan. Well, I really appreciate you coming up here and talking to us about everything and getting into some.
Totally. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this has been great, and we really appreciate you. And hopefully we can do it again sometime. And everybody come out to Vito's. April 25th. It's on a Monday, but
it is on a Monday. But don't let that hold you back. Monday's the worst day of the week.
Tuesday was awesome this week.
Yes.
And that was a weekday.
Yes. And Frozen Soul played here. The last show was on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think every show they've ever played here was on a Tuesday. Dude, Monday's the worst day of the week. Fucking do something cool on a Monday.
I think we're proven lately that you can have weekday shows that are successful.
Yep. The first Termination show post-pandemic was Sanguisugabog, 200 Stab Wounds, Second Life, and Termination. It was a Monday show. And I think we sold out tickets to the show in like an hour. Maybe?
That's what's up.
Which was cool. And then, whatever. But yeah, Monday shows are sick.
Yep.
Weekends are preferred for sure. I get it. But when you can do something cool during the week, take advantage of it.
We're trying to build something around here, and sometimes you got to do a Monday or Tuesday show to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
If we don't get these bands in here and, expose them to what we have going on, then they won't even understand that they need to come here.
100%. And when you show that you can do a good show on a Monday, that, like I mentioned earlier,
the agent will come back around.
Taking care of that band, the agent will remember that. And then the agent will hit you up for a big tour package at the end of the summer. Maybe the biggest death metal show of the year later in a few months. Who knows? Whatever.
What?
But, so hey, people booking shows, take care of your bands, take care, and the bands will notice, and they'll want to come back to Little Rock.
Hell yeah.
And the agents will notice, and then they'll tell their friends, and
That's what it's all about, building that community and those connections, bud. And you're doing a great job, and we really appreciate everything you do for our scene.
I appreciate y'all. I appreciate it.
I definitely look at you as
mutual appreciation here.
I definitely look at you as a mentor of sorts for our scene.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
You really guide a lot of people look up to you. So.
Look at that. I was once a shithead asshole that everyone didn't like.
Look at that.
And I feel like I've kind of have reinvented myself.
Yeah, you've grown into a really great role, and we really appreciate you, bud. So, all
right. You as well.
Yeah,
I feel like we grew up together.
We did. We definitely did. Fist bumps, and that seals the deal.